Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's reading vlog, I'm going to be trying to find as many 5-star reads as I can. I saw Haley Pham and Destiny Sidwell both post videos like this, so I thought it would be fun to go ahead and jump on the bandwagon. This might be the last clip you guys see of me, or one of the last clips you see of me in these glasses, because I am getting new glasses, so if you see new glasses switch up, that is why. But the first book we're going to be starting with is Great Big Beautiful Life. I love Emily Henry. She's one of my favorite authors, and I am super excited for this one. I know it's going to be a little bit different. I've heard that about this one from multiple people, but I'm excited for that little bit of a difference. And I can already tell you, I started this yesterday while I was at work. You'll see those clips next. But I started this yesterday when I was at work, and I'm on page 74 already, and I am loving it so far. It is so fun. I love the storyline, and I'll talk more about it when I get a little bit further into it, but this is the first book that we're going for. I think it has high hopes for being 5 stars. Some of these books are new releases. Others are books that I've had on my TBR for a long time, just like this one, The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, but I've read a novel love story by her, and I really enjoyed that one. And I've heard this one is just incredible, and a lot of people like this one more than a novel love story. So I have high hopes for this one too, which is why I am adding it into this video. I'm going to be doing an audiobook of this one while I'm listening or while I'm reading this one. So I'm excited to start this one. I'll be starting it today, and then I will see where it goes from there. But these are the first 2 books. We'll see if either of them end up being 5 stars. Let's get reading. Drink your water. I've been sitting here for the past like 5 minutes just waiting for the air conditioning to stop going so that I could film this clip, because there's no way I'm turning it off because it is currently 98 degrees outside. So I don't want to turn off the AC. So I'm just trying to let it get through, but it doesn't want to shut off. So we are just gonna get going with my little update, and sorry if the AC is loud, but when you live in Arizona, it gets too hot here to have the AC not going. So, as you could, oh, perfect timing. AC just shut off. So, I have some reading updates for you. As you saw earlier, I went to a coffee shop and read for a little bit. I actually met a new friend there, and we talked, we read, she worked a little bit, and I just sat there reading while she was working. I was reading Great Big Beautiful Life. So I am now on page 114. So I've gotten, Luna, I've gotten a good little chunk started on here, so I thought I would give you my initial thoughts. I am loving it, actually. I love Emily Henry, and I've heard that this one is different than her other ones. So I went in knowing that it was going to be different, but I am actually really enjoying the differentness of it because I love Taylor Jenkins Reid, and it is giving very similar to Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo vibes to me. Like, I am feeling kind of reminiscent of reading that while I'm reading this. So I'm enjoying it so far. I am really intrigued by Margaret's story and seeing where that leads. And the little glimpses we've gotten so far of the romance that's going to come is really cute. I know people have said to not expect super romance heavy, but honestly, it doesn't feel like the romance is lacking to me so far. It feels very organic and natural to me, which I appreciate because sometimes, Luna, sometimes I feel like romances can be very insta-lovey and just unrealistic, and I feel like this one is very realistic to how it would actually go, at least so far. So I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm definitely excited to keep going. It's definitely on par to at least be a 4-star. It's too early for me to tell if it's going to be a 5-star, but it's at least going to be a 4-star, I think, unless something crazy were to happen. But I am really enjoying it so far. And then while I was out going to the coffee shop and getting my new glasses, here they are. Aren't they so cute? I look like a little librarian. But I started the audiobook to The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I put my phone in here to mark where I was so that I could tell you. I am about 43-ish pages into the book so far, and I am enjoying it. I think it's really cute. I'm excited to see where the storyline goes with the apartment having a time travel element to it, where you go back in the past 7 years, and we just got the first glimpses of that. Our main character, Clementine, just got home from work and she fell asleep on the couch, and then a random guy was in her apartment and she realized that it was 7 years in the past, and then the pieces started to click together, or they're clicking together right now currently. So I'm excited to see how this storyline all plays out, and so far I think it's really cute. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. Again, I'm even earlier in this book, so I really can't tell what star rating I'm feeling. But I'm excited because while I listen to this audiobook, I just got this in the mail. So I thought I would open it with you. A couple years ago, my mother and father-in-law got me a Christmas present that is from this company. It's called Completing the Puzzle. And I'm a really big puzzler, if you didn't know. But this is like a monthly subscription for puzzles, and they will send you a puzzle, and then when you're done with it, you send it back to them, and then they'll send you another puzzle. So I have like a 3-month subscription because that's how much the gift card was that I got from my in-laws. But I'm super excited. This package is really cool because it is reusable, so this is what you'll send the puzzle back into. But I thought we could open it. First off, there's a little card in it because this is my first puzzle that I have gotten from them. So it says a little like, hi, thank you for joining the Completing the Puzzle family, and then a little how your subscription work. And it came with a couple of these cute little like coasters. It says puzzling on it, really cute. And then it also came with 2 stickers, just a Completing the Puzzle one, and then this one that says every day I'm puzzling. Those are really cute. And then it comes with the puzzle in another little bag. I got a 1,000-piece puzzle, and it is called Park somewhere in Barcelona. I don't know the pronunciation and I don't want to butcher it, but it is 1,000 pieces and I'm excited to do it. This is what the puzzle looks like. The little picture is laminated, which is great because then it's not going to rip or anything, but this is the puzzle that I got for my first puzzle. You don't know what puzzle you're getting. You can go through their catalog and favorite a bunch of the ones that you like, and then they just send you a random one off of your favorites list. So this is the one that I'm getting or doing. I am excited. I will be doing this while I am listening to this audiobook, and then we'll be returning it and getting another puzzle. And then it does come with a return label for you as well. So this is so fun. I'm excited to try this out and see how it goes. I knew it! I knew it! I'm filming this on my phone. Sorry, the AC is going, but my camera is still filming for me doing my puzzle. But I just figured something out that I guessed a little while ago. The guy that, the chef that they're trying to work with at the publishing company that the main girl works at is the guy from her apartment that they're in the little 7-year slip with. So I figured it out. I knew it. I knew it. So I want to give you a little reading update. I was able to get through a big chunk of the 7-year slip yesterday while I was starting my puzzle. I'm planning to finish it today while I work on my puzzle some more. I have like 3-ish hours left of the audiobook. I don't know exactly where that is in the actual book, but I am really enjoying it so far. I don't know if it's necessarily a 5 stars, but it's for sure at least a 4, maybe 4.5. Depending on how the rest of it goes though, I could see it potentially getting a 5 star, But I am really enjoying it. I love the dynamic of the main couple. They're not really necessarily a couple yet, which is crazy. I only have 3 hours left, maybe like 100 pages or something. I found where I was. The AC just kicked on, but I am not shutting it off, so sorry if you hear it. For the next couple months, I'm not gonna be shutting off the AC, especially when I'm just doing like a little update, because we are getting into the hot months here in Arizona. I'm on page 224 out of 326. So I was right, about 100 pages left. And so it's crazy that they're not like actually a couple yet, because it's only 100 pages left, which I don't even really know if they end up fully a couple. But I really like how the time slips in the apartment, and she goes 7 years into the past. And I think I filmed a clip of this yesterday when I was working on my puzzle, but I had a feeling earlier in the book that the main girl, she works at a publishing house, and there's this really big renowned chef that is opening up his own restaurant, but then also simultaneously wanting to release a cookbook. And so all of these different publishing houses are bidding on this cookbook to see who will end up writing it or working with him to publish it. And I just had a feeling that this chef that she's trying to get to, that they're trying to win this publication deal, I had a feeling that it was the guy from the apartment that is from 7 years in the past. And I found out yesterday while I was doing my puzzle that it is indeed the same person. So I love that, and just like their little wittiness back and forth to each other is so cute. I love that he calls her Lemon even though her name's Clementine. Like, that's just cute. So I am really enjoying it. There's this quote that while I was listening to it I really liked, so I had to dog ear find it in the book and dog ear it so that I can go back to it. So I'm gonna read it for you because it's really cute and I liked it. I cannot talk properly. Romance wasn't in chocolate. It was in the gasp of breath as we came up for air. It was in the way he cradled my face, the way I traced my finger over the crescent-shaped birthmark on his collarbone. It was in the way he muttered how beautiful I was, the way it made my heart soar. It was in the way I wanted to know everything about him, his favorite songs, finally guess his favorite color. Isn't that so cute? So I just had to find that quote in the book while I was reading it. I immediately stopped and figured it out because I just had to write it down. So the goal is to finish this today while I work on my puzzle some more. Like I said, I only have 3 hours left, 100 pages, so should be fairly easy to accomplish. And then I already have the next book that I'm going to be listening to after I'm done with this one. So depending on how long I want to work on my puzzle for today, I might start the next book that I want to listen to, which I don't have a physical copy of because it's a newer release and I just haven't bought a copy of it yet. But the next book I'm going to listen to after this one, in case I don't update you in that time period, is The Favorites by Lane Fargo. I've been really wanting to read this since it came out. So I'm excited that my hold for that finally became available. So that's going to be the next book once I finish this one, but let's get working on this puzzle so I can finish this book. Okay, so it's been a little bit. I just finished the 7-Year Slip. I loved it so much. It was so amazing. I definitely think I liked it more than A Novel Love Story, which was my first and only other book that I've read by her. I gave A Novel Love Story by her 4 stars, so I really enjoyed it, but I liked this one more, which means it's at least a 4.5, but I definitely think I am leaning towards a 5-star because towards the end there were multiple spots where I had to pause my audiobook to find the spot and underline because it was just so good. So I definitely think I'm gonna give it 5 stars, which means so far we have indeed found a 5-star in the first book, which is amazing. We'll see how many more 5 stars we can get in this video, but I want to read these 2 quotes. So this quote I loved. It says, "Sometimes the people you loved left you halfway through the story. Sometimes they left you without a goodbye, and sometimes they stayed around in little ways, in the memory of a musical, and the smell of their perfume, in the sound of the rain, and the itch for adventure, and the yearning for the liminal space between one airport terminal and the next." And then the other quote that I really liked is a French quote, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I don't know how to and I don't want to butcher it. But underneath that quote, the next sentence is the translation, so I'm going to start at that point because I don't want to butcher the French. The quote is, "The sadness will last forever." And then continuing on, she says, "It wasn't a lie. There was sadness, and there was despair, and there was pain. But there was also laughter and joy and relief. There was no grief without love or love without grief, and I choose to think that my aunt lived because of them, because of all the light and love and joy that she found in the shadows of everything that plagued her. She lived because she loved, and she lived because she was loved. And what a lovely lifetime she gave us." Isn't that like so beautiful? So I adore this book. I'm going to take a pause on my puzzle because I have to go put some laundry away and I want to give my ears a break from having headphones on. But when I start this puzzle back up later, I will definitely be starting the favorites. And I'm so excited because Daisy Jones and the Six is one of my favorite books, and I've heard this one kind of compared to Daisy Jones. Like if you liked that book, you would like this one, but it's about figure skaters, so that will be a lot of fun. But I'm gonna take a little break from my puzzle. Yeah. Happy Tuesday. I have a chai that I made. I've got a couple hours before I have to be at the salon today. I only have one client and she's not until 1, so figured I would spend this morning drinking my chai, reading more of Great Big Beautiful Life. So that is exactly what I'm gonna do. I am on page 208. Yep. I'm on page 208 so far. Let me set my chai down. Hey, I kind of match. How cute. I am really enjoying it. I really love the dual storyline that we've got going on with, you know, the romance side plot of Alice and Hayden. I've really been liking getting to know them and them getting to know each other. Yesterday when I was reading, there was a part that I wanted to tell you. I was reading about Alice and Hayden, and I just thought this was really sweet, so I wanted to tell you. Hayden, they're like talking about stuff. Alice is a very optimistic person, always smiling, happy, sunshine. Hayden is more grumpy, kind of, and so Hayden's talking to Alice and he says, I think you live in a world that's more interesting than the one most people live in, he says. And just as my heart starts to sink with disappointment, with a kind of loneliness, he adds, and I wish I could live in it too. I feel myself beaming. I'll take you sometime. I'd like that, he says. Isn't that so cute? Just little moments like that I'm really enjoying. And then also the story of Margaret and her life is really interesting. And we're just at the like beginning stages of her story. Well, I mean, we're like halfway through the book, but I feel like we're just now about to start actually learning more about her individual life, because so far it's been how her family got to the way they are, talking about her grandparents and great-grandparents, and so I think we're about to start actually talking about her, because the very last thing is Alice talking to Margaret. They're about to sit down for an interview and she goes, so today's the day, and Margaret says, what day is that? And Alice says, the day it becomes your story. So I think we're finally about to start learning more about Margaret's life and what it was like for her, which I'm super excited to see more into. So that's where we're at. Let's get reading. So I am at the salon and I have about an hour to an hour and a half until my next client is supposed to get here. So I am going to sit and read some more of Great Big Beautiful Life. I don't have much else to update you on with it since the last time we talked. I feel like we just got to the third act breakup, kind of, even though they're not really a couple yet. And we're like this far into it, so we're over halfway at this point now. But they just went and visited Alice's mom for the weekend, and they had a great time while they were there, but then they kind of had a little bit of a fight on the way back to where they are talking to Margaret. So I feel like there's some tension between them, and I don't know what they're going to do to resolve it, but we shall see. I just read a Margaret story chapter, or no, I'm about to start a Margaret story chapter. I really do enjoy getting to see about her life, and especially now that we are in her life and not her grandparents and great grandparents' lives. So let's read until my next client comes. I don't know. Her appointment's at 3:30. It is currently 2:07, but sometimes she comes early because she comes straight from work. So we shall see. But we're going to read until she gets here. So I realized I have not given you an update on the favorites yet. So I figured I would go ahead and tell you my thoughts on it so far. I am over halfway through with it. I have listened to 8 hours of the audiobook and there's 5.5 hours left. I am really, really enjoying it. I have found myself gasping and smiling, and I cannot get enough. I really love the interview style chapters. I find them really entertaining, and I love that the audiobook has them each individual voice actors. It's not one person voicing everyone. I really enjoy that. They did that with Daisy Jones and the Six as well, and I really enjoyed it then too. I am definitely getting 5-star feels with this one too. So far we are doing really good with the 5-star reads. I'm still not 100% sure if Great Big Beautiful Life will be 5 stars, but I have a good feeling that that one could be 2. If it's not 5, it's going to be like 4. So I am trying to finish this puzzle today, and I'll just continue to listen to my audiobook for however long it will take me to finish this puzzle. I'm in the sky now, which is definitely taking longer than the rest of it because it's all just blue and white. So, but I'm getting pretty close to being done, so I don't think I'll be able to finish the whole audiobook while I finish this puzzle. I think I'll have audiobook left over, but I'm really loving it, and I need to buy a copy of this book immediately because I am loving it so much. I need it on my shelf. So that's my little update. I'm gonna get back to listening to it and working on this puzzle. Okay, I have some reading updates for you. I have, since talking to you last, finished Great Big Beautiful Life and The Favorites, so I thought we could talk about them. I am just going to say it, both of them were also 5 stars. So, I don't know, maybe I just am really easy with ratings, or I just picked really good ones for this video. Because all 3 of the books that I have read for this video are 5-star reads. So maybe I am just too easy with reading or with ratings, but let's talk about Great Big Beautiful Life. I loved this book. It's definitely different than other Emily Henry books that I've read, but I really enjoyed that about it. I love that it wasn't just focusing on the romance and that there was the other plot as well, because I really liked getting to hear about Margaret's story and how life was like for her. There are a couple more quotes than the last time that I talked that I would like to mention. I don't remember if I mentioned this one already. Probably not, but I just loved this quote. It says, "After more than 3 decades on this planet, all it took was a few weeks and the right person to entirely rearrange my composition." I just loved that. And then another quote that I really enjoyed. This was a conversation between Alice and Hayden, and he says, "I think there's so much out of our control, almost everything about how our lives go. But I think deciding that we're all just on track, that we never really had any say over our own decisions, it feels like the kind of thing someone has a lot of regrets would need to be true. Maybe I need something different to be true." Alice then asks, like what? And he says that we don't have to end up with regrets, that if we really care about something, we can decide to hold on to it. Alice says, "I prefer that version of the world." He said, "You do?" She nods. He says, "It's yours." Then she laughs. "Oh, I can have the world?" He said, "Mine." He says, "Yeah, you can have mine." That is so cute. And then there's one more quote that I wanted to mention. At the very end, it says, "I find myself thinking that maybe every bit of heartbreak in life can be rearranged and used for something beautiful. That it doesn't really matter whether I choose this path or I was born onto it, as long as I stop and appreciate the path itself." There were just so many great quotes. I loved the romance between Alice and Hayden. I felt like, I've heard people say that they felt like they wanted more romance from it, but I honestly felt like it was a really good amount of romance for the story, and it felt almost like realistic and real. And I really enjoyed that part, and I really liked the storyline of Margaret and her story as well. And I thought it was done really well for the 2 different stories within one story. So I give this one 5 stars. I loved it. And then for The Favorites, I still don't have a physical copy of it, but I will be getting one because I absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed the story of the ice skating. The ice skating has always been my favorite thing to watch in the Winter Olympics. So I loved getting to read about figure skaters, and I really enjoyed the chapters that were interview style. I thought they were really fun, and the audiobook, especially because all of the people that they're interviewing are different voice actors, so you get to hear like different, it feels like you're actually watching an interview happen. But there were multiple times during the book where I was like gasping because I did not expect what happened to happen. I was surprised by so many things, but loved so many different characters. These characters are just going to hold a special place in my heart because I loved them. And the story, just seeing how the two main characters get from where they started out in this super small town ice rink to becoming Olympic athletes were just so interesting. And seeing the inner workings of figure skating was also really entertaining. I loved it. 5 stars. I don't think I'm gonna read any other books in this video because that would just make this video really long. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me see how many 5 stars I could find in one video. Spoiler, all 3 books I read were 5 stars. Let me know if you have any other reading vlogs you would love to see, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!